And we're live with my good friends from California, Henebery Spirits, the Henebery Whiskey, so many great products. It's Jessee Fannings, the founder, and our good friend David Lizarraga is about to join us, isn't he, Jessee? I think he's almost here. Here he is. Here he is. Here comes
ready
David.
to join. I think he's waiting on you, Tommy boy.
There he is. It's all three of us. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good.
Excellent. Excellent. Well,
We're ready to drink some whiskey, Tom.
You know, it's so great to have you guys, and I've been a fan for quite a while of what you all do, as you guys know, and we've used your whiskeys and been happy to feature you all in our Why Whiskey educational series that we've had in California and across the country, and you know, it's exciting to see all the ways you've grown the last several years, because there's so many great whiskeys and products that you have now. We're going to try several of those, but just to start off with, I think there's people out there that know Henebery, people that don't. Tell us about Henebery. How long have you all been around, and how'd you get your start?
All right, I'll jump in, Tom. I'll take this question. So Matthew Henebery was actually my great-great-great-grandfather. Back in 1851, he owned a distillery in Peoria, Illinois, and through family lineage, we got passed down brand assets, trademarks, and we resurrected the family name. David came along. He's one of my best friends. He just really saw how much work this was, how fun this industry is, how rolling and tiresome it also can be. And he joined me on this nice journey of ours. And we started really jumping in and doing what we loved, you know, making whiskey, providing things that people can enjoy. There's nothing more rewarding in the whole entire world, Tom, than seeing somebody drink something that we made with passion and enjoy it. So that's kind of the conception of what we're trying to do out here in San Diego. We're really trying to kind of push the envelope and make things special, make great products and unique things that the world doesn't know exist yet. You know, that was part of our business mantra as well. So
right, and you guys have done such a fantastic job with that. It's everything that you've done has been such an amazing product. You started with the rye whiskey, which had an infusion of flavors, spices, ingredients like we never tried in rye, which really amplified the rye. And was the next product was the old fashioned, right? That's the one is that the second product? I think I have it right.
Yeah, we've done a couple little one-offs in there, but the second one that we dropped into distribution was the old fashioned.
Right.
We knew the rye whiskey that we started with the flavors, you know, those flavors were like flavors that remind us of American oak. So we wanted to take like deep, complex flavors of long-term aging and really bring those to life with subtle notes of, additives on the, after we were done creating the product. And then the old fashioned was a natural because all the bars and restaurants were using our Henebery rye whiskey as an old fashioned. It just made sense. It had all those really deep, complex flavors already. So it was just adding, the sugar and the bitters and the dilution to make a perfect actual old fashioned in a bottle. So we jumped right into that as well.
Absolutely. And I was just recalling, I was thinking about all the great times I've spent with you guys in San Diego. Again, for those of you just joining us, it's Henebery Spirits. We're trying some Henebery whiskeys tonight. Jessee Fannings, founder, David Lizarraga, COO. And I think it was both of you all. I think I went to because there was such an autumnal flavor always to Henebery. I went to some Thanksgiving dinner with you guys where the cocktails were just like incredible. Every course was amazing. That was a couple of years ago. Where was that?
We're at the Lion's Share down here.
The Lion's Share. That's what it was. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, it was.
The Lion's Share is amazing. Anyone you come down to San Diego, you need to go to the Lion's Share. Right. Great cocktails, great food, amazing stuff there.
Yes, such good stuff. Hey, I'm already seeing some great comments from BourbonBlog. Our mutual friend James Hills there in San Diego is a big fan of Henebery as well, and has been doing some virtual tastings during the day on Tuesday and Thursday, and some other times I've been joining him for on BourbonBlog. So it's great to have James Hills watching. For all of you watching, tell us down below what you like best about Henebery. If you don't even know Henebery, tell us what you're drinking tonight. We're really excited to have Jessee and David here to taste some interesting products, some really unique stuff. Now, what you've just released, I think, was it just this past week or week or two, you released the new Blood Orange Spirit, right?
Yeah, I'll let
yes.
Should we
so that was.
Should we go ahead and talk about that and taste that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Jessee will pour us some tasters right now.
All right.
But that's the oldest thing that we have in our building. So we are right next to Latitude 33 Brewing. They're very famous for a Blood Orange IPA they introduced maybe 8+ years ago. And they had some Blood Orange IPA that they said they wanted to share with us, and let's distill it, have some fun. And Jessee and I, being lovers of flavor of everything, we said, let's do it. We wanted to break that in. So that, yeah, there we go. Have a beautiful.
There it is.
So we actually had to call it Blood Orange Spirit because we can't call it a whiskey. So
you can't technically. And why is it that you can't technically call it a whiskey? Is it
so? Because of the addition of hops.
The addition of hops. Okay, because there is actually hops. It's a beer that's been distilled to become a whiskey, right?
Correct.
As we know it, otherwise it's called a spirit. Amazingly, I don't only have just one of these in front of me, but I have two of these. I have one at barrel strength, right? And then one at, is it 85 proof I'm seeing?
86.
86. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we
doing it at the distillery.
We needed to have a 3 in there, so it was either going to be 93 or now, so it's 43% alcohol.
Wow. Okay. So this is going to be the barrel proof and one that's a little bit lower, and these are both only available at the distillery right now. Is that right?
Yeah, they're also available online. You can go to our website, heneberywhiskey.com. That's whiskey with an E.
Yes.
And we can deliver to everyone in California right now.
Okay, so if you're in, so we do have a lot of great friends watching us in California, and I will put that website up here in just a moment. If you're in California, they can deliver that. Also, you're in several, just with your rye whiskey, your old fashioned. How many states are you guys in now? You've grown quite a bit.
Well, yeah, we distribute in the state of California. That's our primary distribution state, but we're also in the state of New Mexico and Texas, and a little bit in Florida, but not a whole lot. So we're really kind of focusing right now on California and Texas is our main staple points that we want to really focus on.
California, Texas. So that's great. And here is again the website in case you guys want to go check out Henebery. Definitely follow them on social. Check out what they're doing. You can order these. Everything we're talking about tonight, you can order online. Is that pretty much right?
Yes. Everything
we'll be talking about, you can order online, and definitely try them all because they're some of the most innovative craft spirits in the country. They're so interesting, and these guys, you all have such passion for what you do. I love passion. And again, the first one I tried that I've been warming up here with, as we call it, right, is the barrel. This is a barrel aged old fashioned. How long do you guys put that in the barrel for? You make the old fashioned and then you put it in the barrel for how long?
So it just depends. We're at least aging it for at least a month in a barrel.
Right.
Sometimes we use smaller barrels that last a little bit. We do it a little quicker. But our 53-gallon barrels, we usually just kind of let it all melt together for about a month or less. Really, the barrel just brings out a little bit of simplicity to the actual cocktail itself.
Right.
It's the ingredients that we use that really make it different. We do all the bittering on our end, and so instead of adding bitters, we take gentian root, we take cherry bark, we take apple peel, we macerate that right into the whiskey itself. Nice. So instead of just putting a couple dashes of bitters, we bitter the actual whole batch of whiskey to make sure that the flavors are fresh, they pop, and they taste great. So that's kind of the secret for us. It's
a delicious barrel-aged old-fashioned, and a great way to start out any tasting is with some of that. All right, so so I have the Blood Orange in front of me. Again, this is just again so we're clear, and someone already who's a fan of it, Tara Banks, watching us there. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Just says she loves the Blood Orange. This again is a Blood Orange IPA. Starts its life out from Latitude 33. You all distill it, and then this has been in the barrel for 3 years.
3 years.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, and so I've seen some of these distilled beer whiskeys / spirits. usually they don't age them. This is quite a while for a product like this. I mean, from what I've seen.
Not only is it 3 years, Tom, it's 3 years in 15-gallon barrels. So it's 3 years in really small barrels. So we're getting extreme maturing flavors out of that.
Yeah.
If you look at the color, if you smell the aromatics, you're getting rich, deep, complex whiskey elements from this. And then you're getting all the flavors from the actual beer side of it, which, when we first distilled this, it was coming out of the still aggressively bitter. And the more it aged, the more it sat in the oak, the better and more well-rounded it got. It became something very beautiful to us.
Yeah.
One of our favorite things that we've made.
There's so much, and I've started with the I guess I should have asked you all. I started with the barrel proof. Are you guys starting with the lower proof or the barrel proof? Which one are you starting with?
We're never going to start with the grand finale.
I started with the barrel proof. Look,
we started with the 86
proof. Double fist. I'll start with the lower proof. I went right for the barrel proof up because I had opened prior to the interview. I had opened the other one, but I hadn't even tried that one. So let me start with the 96 proof. Is that what we said, or
86 proof?
86. Okay, excellent. All right. That is incredible. The IPA, the hops are coming through, but the spice, the barrel, the complexity. Tell me about this. First of all, this beer. Tell me about the Blood Orange IPA. What makes it that, and what were you trying to evolve it into?
Go ahead, Dave. Take this one away.
Yeah. So basically, like really juicy, refreshing IPA.
Yes.
It's essentially like a San Diego style IPA, which is West Coast, but then it's infused with blood orange for like citrusy tropical notes. And it's a beer that really, really took off for Latitude 33 and pretty much put them on the map in distributing that beer. And then there became so many imitators making blood orange infused beers that like there was just so much market share. Everyone wanted a blood orange IPA that you had so many imitators. And so it was great to have our neighbors pretty much welcome us to Vista. Hey, we have this. This is yours. You guys do whatever you want with it. And us being guys that love whiskey, we said, okay, well, we're going to treat it just like a whiskey. We did a stripping run on it, and then we put it in our Vendome copper still. We have a pot column hybrid still here made by Vendome Copper, and we put those in New American oak barrels, 15-gallon barrels from Barrel Mill. So we source our barrels from Barrel Mill, which give just an incredibly roasted vanilla flavor that I mean, they're some of my favorite barrels. And it's just been absolutely delicious. I still drink Blood Orange IPA to this day. Nice and juicy. I think it's like 7% alcohol. And what we did is just treated it like a whiskey, because that's what we love first and foremost is whiskey here at Henebery. But we also like to experiment. So we do have flavors going on in our whiskey, but we also do things traditionally as well. So we do have rye whiskey. We do single malts that are aging. We have a lot of cool things that we like to do here, and we're lucky enough to be small enough that we're nimble in that we can make something on the fly. We're not a wild turkey that's committed to just running rye 24/7 or running bourbon 24/7 just to meet demand. What I think is great is that we're small enough that we can make a lot of whiskey, and we can make a little and not have like a downtime where we're losing money, because we're not pushing out product 24/7.
Right.
So we're in a great little space here to have fun and just, nothing. It's really good to do it with one of your best friends. And Jesse and I have been doing this for a while now. We love it. We love it, and we love sharing it with people. Like, we have people in the comments who love what we're doing and who have tried it, and we're going to continue to do these things. We know with the traditional whiskey drinkers, they like the traditional rye or bourbon that, the only flavors change in mash bill or the barrel, but we like to add flavors or develop the flavors to maintain a consistency of for a product, so we really enjoy it. We really enjoy what we do.
One of the coolest things, Tom, as you know, San Diego's a huge brewery town. There's still over 150 breweries that are somewhat successful, and it's operations happen. So being able to partner with Latitude 33, which is a fairly large brewery here in San Diego, and them giving us complete freedom to do what we want and trusting us and not coming back and no back and forth. I tip my hat to Latitude 33 for just letting us have the freedom to make this. And even still to this day, all they really wanted was some cases and to see what that beer would do in the whiskey world. And so I'm really happy with our partnership and our collaboration spirit here in San Diego, because I feel like it's really important for all of us industry people to come together and make what's next, right? Yeah. I feel like, of course, we're going to continue to do traditional whiskeys. Like we have a great straight rye whiskey, our bourbon's, aging and it's doing great. But I also think it's fun for people to try things that they never knew existed before. And there's some beauty in that. And, our approach has always been, let's be respectful to the process of whiskey, but let's give new expressions of that whiskey, right? So here we are making unique collaborations happen. We're getting unique flavor profiles coming to this world, and we're enjoying it. And it's full of passion, at the end of the day. And I think people can taste that when they try our spirits.
Absolutely. You guys have such passion. And I think what you're saying is so true, that you all have always been very forward thinking. You've done things outside of the box. People in San Diego, many of them watching right now, our friend Kevin, who has Pub Club, is also a big fan of Henebery. Hey, from the San Diego Gas Lamp.
Cheers, Kevin.
Yes. Nice to have Kevin watching, and James Hills as well. Glad to see places opening up on the weekend. That's excellent too. And Grim on YouTube is drinking an old-fashioned made with the Blood Orange Spirit right now. And thank you for watching us, Grim, there on YouTube. Again, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We do this every night. So if you're just joining us for one of the first times tonight, make sure you join whatever place you're watching us on. The place to join us every night is bourbonblog.com/live at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're just having a great time, and we're just glad to see so many good people joining us. And I guess as Grim was saying, watching and drinking an old fashioned, I should also say, I hosted a whiskey tasting there at your distillery a couple years ago. Love your distillery.
The infamous whiskey tasting.
Yeah, no, we had so much fun with you guys that we had a blast. And the cocktails that you all do at the distillery are just incredible. I mean, the cocktail lineup there with what you can do with your spirits is just phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Along with just making whiskey, we love cocktails. We love all spirits too. I love agave spirits. I actually import them. We import a mezcal and do some other things with agave, but we love cocktails. And, we've spent many thousands of dollars learning and watching some of the best bartenders here in San Diego and California just create some just delicious things, and showing the people who love Henebery what you can make out of these cocktails is so much fun. You get that instant gratification for making a cocktail and handing it over to someone and them just shaking their head yes, and you don't get that from going ahead and making a white whiskey.
Right.
Like we all know, oh, this is good. It's going to taste even better when we put it in a barrel, but people don't know that, so it's really fun to do cocktails. We really enjoy it.
Tom,
do you have a favorite one? What is your all's favorite on the menu there?
Cocktail wise?
Yeah.
God, I'm such an old school, like I can't stop drinking Sazeracs,
Nice. Oh, I bet that's incredible. Yeah, a Sazerac would be
that's
amazing.
always my go-to.
Right.
But one thing I wanted to touch on with what Dave was saying is, like, can you imagine, Tom, there's this world that we live in where we make something that we could hand off to somebody else and they can use it in a passionate way as well.
Yes, so true.
we're passing our passion on to somebody else, and they're showcasing passion as well. So when I walk into a bar and they're making a Henebery cocktail that I've never in a million years thought could even exist, that they've done, there's almost no better feeling in the world, Tom, to see people
what they transformed it into.
Yeah, we never knew this was a thing. Like when we made our first bottle, we thought, yeah, this is great. We could make whatever. We could do this. We could do that. Next thing you know, we're seeing these guys take this into different worlds that we never knew exist, and they're taking their expertise and we are light years behind. We're not the best cocktail guys in the world, but we've seen some of the best cocktail guys in the world use our spirit, and that is such an amazing feeling for us. And it's so good to be able to pass that on to somebody, and hopefully, they pass that on to somebody else, and it kind of continues down this beautiful, passionate loop, right? We're all really excited to be part of that.
Yeah. Aaron Nepper, I hope I'm saying it right. Aaron says she loves that Henebery and isn't afraid to branch out and try new things, unique collaborations with other local businesses. They're always changing the menu and trying exciting new drinks. Never boring, and they have something for everyone. So
love you, Aaron. Love you, Aaron.
Yeah, cheers to Aaron.
Drink to Aaron.
And Kevin says, "Bam, heard of Henebery a few months ago. Thanks for hosting the guys. Just grabbed 3 bottles online." So
nice. Awesome, Kevin. Let us know how you think.
Yes, yeah, and it's so great to have both of you all on, because it's been a little while since I've been there to San Diego to see you guys, and I just really, I so admire your passion and appreciate all you do for the industry, and you've done, you've carried on a family tradition there, Jessee, which is incredible. The story of your, again, how many greats was it that started the?
3 greats.
3 greats. So this is quite a lineage here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and the family lineage is beautiful. We're family owned and operated, so that's always fun. It's fun to have a family business. It's trying at times, but it's always satisfying at the end of the day.
Right.
We're willing to do the extra work. We're willing to pivot. We're willing to work hard in any direction. This pandemic has come to us by somewhat of a surprise, but we lowered our heads and we moved right through it, and we started making hand sanitizer for people. We tried to release as many new spirits as we can to keep people drinking at home. We really have embraced this new experience that we're all living, and try to make it as tolerable as possible. And sometimes that's what alcohol is to make life tolerable, right?
That's true. Yes, no, it's so true. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Jessee. I was actually going to ask you, there's been so many things you all have been creating a hand sanitizers, and you've also found some ways to help some great charities there. Tell us what you've been doing, what you all have been doing during COVID, and what it's been like for you all and the San Diego community there with bartenders, and how you all been helping.
Oh man, I didn't know we were going to talk about that tonight, but one of the things that we originally just decided day one was like, let's get as much hand sanitizer to as many hands as possible.
Right.
We didn't want to charge for it. We didn't want to, put people in a spot where they felt like they needed to buy too much. We wanted to make them feel comfortable. We wanted to create a community, right? So we just made 2-ounce bottles and we gave them away. And anybody that wanted to donate to charities, they could. So we actually started collecting donations, and people felt really proud to donate to things that they knew it was going to go to. So we raised $15,000 to a really great organization called Another Round, Another Rally.
Yes.
They're an industry-based organization, and they give grants to all the industry, bartenders, service industry, anybody, waiters, barbacks, anybody that needs it. They give grants immediately to them. So definitely look them up if you're in need. And then on top of that, we raised an additional $30,000. We focused on local San Diego charities. So we dispersed that throughout different San Diego organizations that were really stepping up during this time. So $45,000 we raised just by working hard and giving donation sanitizer away to people. So that was probably one of my most proud moments as a company so far to date. Really happy that we were able to work hard and get those kind of donations into the right hands.
That's amazing. That's so incredible that you all have done that, and well done. I mean, you all have always you've always helped the community in many ways, and it doesn't surprise me at all that you would help the community in this current time. But obviously, you're a brand that really cares about the community around you, the bartenders, the hospitality, and great job, guys, on that.
Well, Tom, to be honest with you, we're nothing without our community, man. We're such a small brand that without our community, without our group of people that are supporting us, we owe it all to them. Like literally, we would be dead without our members at our bar, or the people coming in and frequent. Would be a lost cause. So without us having the community behind us, we would be nowhere. So it only seems fitting that we give back as much as we can to them. They stepped up on their end without even knowing it, without even really thinking about it. They've come to the rescue for us as a small business, and we owe the world to them. So it wasn't even an option. It was just natural, and we're very proud of that. Like we're really happy that we got over 20,000 bottles of hand sanitizer into the hands of people that need it immediately. That was our number one goal. And then it also freed us up to make spirits that people can enjoy at home. It was a perfect bridge of doing the right thing and doing what we love all in the same time. I don't want to sound like we pivoted completely into hand sanitizer, because we didn't. We pivoted as much as we could to that, but we also came with different spirits, and we made different SKUs, and we released things so people can smile. At the end of the day, we all need to have a little bit of normalcy, and we need to smile, and we need to be happy. And we're hoping that we can continue to be that brand that brings that to people. So it was a no-brainer, Tom.
Excellent. That means a lot to hear you guys say that. I think it really just goes further to show, how an important role that crafts distilleries, brands that care in the beverage world, and in every sense. But being in this industry, it means a lot to see great people and to see how we can all help each other.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Tom, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Tell me about your drinking notes on this. Let's talk about some whiskey.
Yeah, we'll talk about the whiskey. It's good to talk about all these great things. So this does have that kind of like this juicy back note. So it's kind of that juiciness from that blood orange spirit, and the beer itself against barrel. I mean, it's a really nice balance. I mean, it has that really beautiful thing that's happening and I believe I've had some of the Latitude 33 Blood Orange IPA. I'm pretty sure I've had this, but I get that citrus zest against barrel. There's a spiciness to it. This is really unlike anything I've ever had. It's a really fun thing to drink. I mean, it's a really fun beverage.
I'll take it.
What do you guys get? What are I know you've been sipping on it a little bit more than I have since you've been tasting it on the evolution. What do you guys get on it?
So I taste some really weird, unique, complex flavors out of it. I get almost like a hint of coffee for some reason, like some deep coffee aromatics and some almost like huge nutty characteristics.
Yes.
This is a little unusual to our traditional whiskey. Obviously, we're dealing with a different cook, something that we're not complete control of.
Right.
But I love that we're getting some unique flavors out of this. I feel like some really deep nuttiness. I feel like I get some really huge just aromatics out of it. The smell is unlike anything I've ever smelled before. And then I get this undertone of coffee. I don't know exactly where that's coming from, but I absolutely love it. I think it's unique and fun to drink.
Yeah, it's huge. Like the coffee I get, and I really think it's just like the bitterness of the hops that go into the mash with the char of the barrel, and being that they're 15 gallons in over 3 years, like that's just I think that's where that bitter but roasty kind of flavor comes through. Yes.
Yeah, so I do get that coffee that you're mentioning, kind of that roasted aroma.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a hint of chocolate, just a touch of chocolate, a little butteriness that comes off that aroma into that flavor. It's very complex. I mean, there's a lot of layers to this. To see what you've taken it from and to is just really something else. And And the 3-year mark, again, I've tried a variety of these, beers that have become whiskeys that we have to call spirits, but it's sort of like a beer whiskey or a brew that goes into a whiskey. And usually a lot of distilleries that I've seen don't age it for quite that long. So that barrel in a smaller barrel has really made it even more powerful and complex. So it's an incredible at the 86 proof. Should we try? Are you ready for the higher proof? Should we go to that?
I'm not much of a drinker, but we'll give it a shot.
Okay. I thought I might be able to twist your arm.
When in Rome.
Here we go. This is it.
So this is, again.
I'll come to you, Dave, right now, because
Jesse. Yeah.
He's gonna walk across the screen. He's walking across the screen into another room. I love that. I'm gonna put a little more in my glass too, because it's fun. It's so much fun to see what the proof does to these two different complexities here.
Oh, that concentration.
Again, so many great comments. Hey, Mosh, by the way, or Emily, says, honestly, as someone who doesn't usually enjoy whiskey, Henebery always knows how to whip a drink I'll love and come back for. That's Emily. She says she loves you guys, otherwise known as Mosh, there on YouTube. So a little comment from Emily.
We love you too. I'll drink to you, Mosh. Cheers.
Yes. A lot of great people watching us. And if you do have any questions or comments for Jesse and David, leave them, tweet them back below. It's great to have you guys live and like this, share this. It's great to have so many good people watching us tonight. So yeah, look at the again, my barrel proof is in the glass with the etchings. There is a lot of color. There's color on both, but you can really see what that barrel proof has done there.
Oh yeah.
Stuff has some bite.
Wow.
Still drinks. I call it 101 proof, but it drinks.
Yeah, it doesn't drink as high as it is. I mean, it is incredibly, the sugars are there. That smooth quality, those elegant sugars are coming through to the degree that I don't get. I mean, like you said, maybe a little over 100 proof. I mean, you get something warm, but it's not like other spirits would be at that proof. It's incredible.
I totally agree. And you know what? We did a small experiment. We wanted to see what people wanted more of. And immediately I thought cask strength was going to be the thing that sold the most.
Okay.
But I found that it was about 70% want cask strength, 30% want regular strength. So that was a good experiment that we were able to pull together on our end.
So 70% wanted the
cask strength.
Cask strength, 30 wanted the regular.
Correct. Just right off the get, like just pre-orders, like who wants what right away. I was kind of surprised on that. I thought it'd be more 50-50, but people really are interested in the high proof spirit.
Now, is this the first time you will have done something with a beer? I mean, is this one of the first? Have you done some other one-offs with a beer that comes into a whiskey? Or
I think we sent you one other one. I think we sent you the Wild Barrel one.
Well, yeah, I have that one here. We're going to get to that one too. So this would be the first couple that you've done like this.
Yeah, this was the first one, but we released the Wild Barrel earlier.
Okay, so this was a little earlier. Gotcha.
Yeah, and so we wanted to give you that like range.
Yes.
The difference between really long aged in a 15-gallon barrel and not quite as long.
Right.
So you could kind of tell the difference. And then the other one was just a traditional IPA, and this one is a Blood Orange IPA. So there's a lot of nuance that you're going to pick up in the other whiskey when you're sipping them.
Very tasty. No, these are both, and they're just like other whiskeys. You would get some of the same characteristics on both the lower proof and the cask strength, but there's something new the cask strength does with that extra warmth. The spice comes out there. I maybe even I get that chocolate and that kind of buttery note even more, but maybe even a touch of clove. I mean, there's some spices that are really coming alive on this cask strength, aren't there?
I totally agree with you, Tom. I actually get a whole different profile. I get clove, like you said. I also get like a sharpness to it that makes me want to drink another sip quicker. The other one I can sip on slower. Might be dangerous, 124 proof, continue to drink a little faster, but it makes me want to drink more quickly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a unique characteristic, I think.
Yes. No, it's so good. Question from let's see here. Okay, question from Aaron watching on Facebook. Do you feel smaller barrels bring different elements than larger ones? I've heard the cherry. I guess I heard the cherry flavor comes through sooner. What do these small barrels do that large ones don't?
You want me to take this one, Dave?
Sure.
Small barrels miss one thing: oxygen. Big barrels have plenty of oxygen. Whether you sit them up straight or you lay them on the side, you're going to get a bigger oxygen canal in the barrel, and that oxygen really plays a role in whiskey. We traditionally do not like to release just 15-gallon barrels alone. Prefer taking 15-gallon barrels and blending them with 53-gallon barrels because of the amount of oxygen that is actually in the process of aging. Wow. So yes, I think to answer your question, 53-gallon barrels are very, very important because of the amount of oxygen that sits with the actual whiskey while it's aging. Oxygen is everything in those types of sizes. So 15-gallon barrels, of course, you're going to get a lot of maturing quickly because of surface area. You're going to get a lot of those roasted notes. You're going to get way more color. You're going to get a lot of deep, complex flavor from a 15-gallon barrel a lot quicker, but it's not going to be rounded out with all the oxygen that a 53-gallon barrel will bring to life. So I think in a perfect world, you need both. You need both of them if you're really going to try to do something really special and really amazing. Or you can continue to just use 53s and you'll get there, but it's going to be a really long time. But you can't just revert to only 15s. 15s won't get the job done alone. This was a special thing that we let sit for longer than we would let some of our 53 gallons sit. So we were able to let the oxygen just sit in there long enough. We lost a lot because of that, but at the same time, it was fine. We're okay with that. But you usually need them both. You can't do one or the other. I mean, you could do 53s no problem all day long. Right. You need to wait 2 years or more. With 15s, you need to incorporate 53s, or you need to let them age almost as long. So,
what about how much did you lose? I mean, on something like this, 3 years in the barrel, about how much would you say you lose?
We put these in 15-gallon barrels, and we filled them all the way to the top, knowing that we were going to age them a long time because the flavor profile out of the still needed the oak. So usually we won't fill them all the way to the top. We'll allow oxygen to seep in there. But we filled all the way to the brim. And we lost, out of the 15 gallons, I think we lost 4 gallons. So I think we had about 11 gallons at the end of the day, which is a huge loss for a 15-gallon.
That's like a third almost, basically almost a third. Yeah.
If we lost that in a 53-gallon barrel, we'd feel normal. But we lost that in a 15-gallon barrel, which was detrimental. It killed us. But it was important for us to get that flavor right.
For people that, I think this is so interesting for people that are, watching, and maybe they've had some California whiskeys, or, they might typically drink bourbons or ryes from the South. What happens with the weather where you all are? I mean, I know San Diego's a little different than other parts of California. How does the weather in the San Diego area translate into what happens to your whiskeys?
So luckily we live in Vista.
Yeah.
So Vista's a little north of San Diego. It gets a little hotter, which is good for barrel aging. Hotter, colder is perfect, right? Kentucky gets hot, gets cold. Gets hot, gets cold. That's the best thing for wood. It's contract, expand, contract, expand, right? Depending on the weather. So San Diego in its own right is kind of not the most ideal weather to age because it's pretty static. It's a pretty consistent temperature. In Vista, however, a little north of San Diego where we live, it gets pretty hot in the summer and it gets really hot in our distillery when we're cooking and using both of our stills at the same time. And then it gets pretty cold at night. So we're getting a lot of in and out, like you would get, not quite to the extreme of Kentucky, but we're getting a lot of that movement in the wood. So we didn't know that when we signed our lease out here, but we're happy that we're in Vista and not San Diego because of that. We're getting a lot more fluctuation in our aging process out here for sure.
Just being a little distance away, because you're only how many miles away from San Diego?
We're about 30 miles from San Diego. But it's
so just a few miles can really make the difference in what's happening with a distillery, aging warehouses. I mean, we talk about this even in Kentucky. Even a few miles on what hill a particular warehouse might sit on in Kentucky can be a pretty big difference, right?
Oh, 100%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Weather and temperature is, I would say, almost maybe 60 to 70% of everything in the whiskey business. Right. Like, you got everybody's getting great barrels. Nobody's like, hey, I'm getting bad barrels in the whiskey business. I'm getting okay or great barrels, right?
Right.
And it becomes temperature control. Like, how
Yeah.
we figure out temperature, right? For us, we were lucky. We work hard during the day, so this thing heats up like crazy. We turn it all off at night. It cools down like crazy. We get here, it's freezing in the morning, and we're okay. But Kentucky's still better because it just fluctuations of hot and cold is so good. So,
yeah.
with that.
One cool thing about us too is we're like on a canyon, and so we get like fog that rolls in off the coast, and so that really cools us down as well. And you get those in summers in San Diego as well. So you're getting a huge change in temperature.
That's really it. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just change in temperature.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's really amazing. These are both so interesting. I mean, everything from the lower proof, the higher proof. I mean, if you're looking at getting one of these, and again, you can order these on. I'll put the website up here one more time so everyone can see. HeneberyWhiskey.com. I would say get a bottle of each because I think the contrast, comparison, similarities is a real interesting study. Not only in what this really is, a beer whiskey, a transformed spirit, which technically is a whiskey, not legally a whiskey, but you're making it like a whiskey for people to taste both of them, but just to also taste how proof can matter on a whiskey, right?
Yeah, that's why we wanted to send you different proofs. The cask strength and the 86 proof.
Wow, I really appreciate it. Can we try this Wild Barrel Spirit? When was this one released?
I mean, this one right here?
Yeah, the one in the purple bottle, yeah.
So this is another collaboration that we did with another brewery down here in our area. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So a guy named Preston actually has a really interesting program over here, and he is so specific on how he makes his beer that we wanted a part of that. We actually really loved this collaboration because he cares about every single ingredient. He cares so much about the collaboration that we did with another brewery down here in our area. Yeah. Beautiful. So a guy named Preston actually has a really
excellent. Let me pour this one here.
All right. I'm gonna pour some.
Have some poured?
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna pour. I'll let Dave talk about Wild Barrel.
Excellent. Cool.
Yes. So Wild Barrel.
He's heading to you again, I think, with some, Dave.
What was that?
He got out of the chair. I think he's heading to you with his pour.
I know, and I need it.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, I think we're good now with the sound.
Yeah, there was an issue. No worries.
Here we go. That's good. So I wanted to send you two different kinds. So we have the Hazy IPA that Wild Barrel did.
Yes.
And then it was the Blood Orange.
Yep.
Just so you can see, we treated both of these distillates equally. Okay. We aged the Latitude a little more. The Latitude was a little bit hoppier of a mash.
Right.
So what I get with the Wild Barrel spirit is a lot of vanilla. I get real creamy taste with the spirit. Yeah, really, really buttery mouthfeel. Exactly.
Yeah.
We've actually made it into like an old fashioned.
I do get those vanillas. Those are definitely the creaminess. It's very silky mouthfeel. Almost a little bit of, there's something I'm getting, and I want to say it's like almost like a toffee or a butterscotch on the end.
I could see kind of almost like a burnt sugar. Is that what?
Like a creme brulee on the end, but kind of like candied. This is so interesting too. This is very interesting.
It is. This is a collaboration we did with Wild Barrel. They're very, very innovative in what they're doing. They have Preston Wiesner, he's from does a lot of their sour programs and barrel age programs, and they sent us some Hazy IPA. Shoot, Jay, was it like 2 years ago? I think about 2 years ago, and this has been on oak for about 18 months, 15 gallon barrel. And this is a single barrel release.
It's very nice.
Actually had 2 barrels of it. So we released one that was a little bit younger, and then you have this older one.
Very nice. The one thing with all of these, from your original release with your original rye to the other releases that you all have always had, is your whiskeys, your spirits, always. The one thing I say I love about a good whiskey, a good cocktail, a good spirit is something that will take you a variety of places in one sip, like a roller coaster ride, different arcs. And all of these have arcs, have places, have complexity. There's some whiskeys out there that sing one note, but your whiskeys always have a lot of complexity and layers, and that's something you all do really well. That's something that you all aim to do well, I would imagine.
Tom, you nailed it. We talk about that every single time we release anything. If it's flat, we call it flat. If whiskey is flat, it's great. People love a flat whiskey, but we really wanted to bring complexity. We're experience driven. We really want people to have an experience when they taste everything that we make. I don't see why not. Like it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more effort to make sure that there's an experience behind everything that we do.
Right.
But we mention that when we're making something, like we do not approve projects that won't have that.
Right.
It's that important for our culture. It's like, is this going to be something that can take the person that's drinking it somewhere? If not, then we'll pass on the project 100%. That's why I like working with Wild Barrel and Latitude 33. They were so into that. I'm going to tell you a quick little side story. The Wild Barrel guys, and a guy named Preston, when we released this, he loved this so much in an old fashioned. He wanted to coin a 15-minute old fashioned, meaning we made the old fashioned. You take a sip of it, we talk for 5 minutes, you take another sip of it, you talk for 5 more minutes, he takes another sip of it, and then finally you can drink it, because it keeps evolving. It's the story of the whole experience of it. And this is the spirit that does that. I bought into that. I bought into that process so much that it was like, it just kept getting more evolved.
As it has those flavors in it, yes.
So the longer it sits on the ice, the more it dilutes, the more it becomes like one unit, the more it becomes an experience for everybody. So we wanted to think drinking whiskey was that. It was an experience. People that are drinking whiskey religiously, people that really care about it, they want it to be a moment for them. That's all we're asking for, is a moment of your time. Right. If we're making a whiskey that can capture a moment of your time, we're in. If it's not going to capture the moment of your time, that's not for us. There's plenty of other products that you can go out and you could deal with that with. But for us, we want to capture your moment. We want you to remember us. We want you to really believe in what the flavors that we're bringing to life, and the thought and the love behind it is paramount for us.
It's incredible. It's delicious stuff, and you all have so much passion for what you do. For the just out of curiosity, for the old fashioned that you made with this Wild Barrel Spirit, how did you make it? Was there a special kind of bitters you put in it, or what did you do?
So there's 4 ingredients to an old fashioned, guys. Yeah. It's a very simple cocktail, but it's very important for anybody that's drinking whiskey. There's 4. It's a whiskey. It's some sort of sweetening agent. We use a Demerara.
Yep.
Raw sugar, simple syrup, and then it's bitters of some regard, and then it's dilution. So actual old fashioned calls for some sort of dilution,
Right.
meaning that you need ice. You need to stir the ice with the spirit, right? So when you see these guys stirring an old fashioned for 30, 40 spins, you think it's gimmicky. Not really. It's actually important. You're actually diluting that actual cocktail to the right
diluting it
of actual liquid that deserves to be in that cocktail, and then it becomes a perfect old fashioned. We try to create that in our bottle. So it's all three of those ingredients minus the dilution. So if you pour our ready to drink old fashioned over ice, it becomes a perfect old fashioned. That was cool. So very simple, very easy idea, but it's bitters, whiskey, sugar, and water really is what makes perfect old fashioned.
Absolutely. Is there a certain kind of bitters that you all like using at the distillery, or are you?
We use a local company called R&D Bitters.
R&D.
You could also buy those on our website. We're going to post those tomorrow.
Nice.
All of the R&D bitters will be up there. They do cherry apple bitters, sarsaparilla bitters, a bunch of really unique ones. They just released a citrus bitters that is so perfect for any citrus cocktail you could ever imagine. Wow. And the process is so great, man. If you want to, let me tell you, it's super high proof spirit with a bunch of flavors, and they extract all the flavors out of it. Then they proof down the spirit, and then you got your beautiful bitters, man. So it's a world that everybody cares about. You care about your cocktails, you care about your actual spirits. You should also care about your bitters. It makes sense. Everybody really puts a lot of passion into it.
Absolutely. That's incredible. And again, right now available. You can go to their website and get their rye. You can get the Blood Orange. The Blood Orange Spirits that started off as Latitude 33, either in the barrel proof or the original. The old fashioned, which we tried first. What's coming? I know you guys have some other whiskey, some bourbon, some rye. What do we have? I know there's always something great to look forward to at Henebery. What's coming that we can look forward to there with Henebery?
Oh, great question, Tom. And now all of a sudden, Dave wants to be back. To answer your question, it's so easy. We have our single malt program. It's been working full effect. Our bourbon program is working in full effect. And our straight rye is releasing next week. We are so happy about that.
Next week-ish.
Next week. He hates when I say next. He hates when I put a timeline on him because that's his ass on the line.
Next week-ish.
But yes, we're finally releasing it. In that we've only released small amounts in 375 amounts. We're releasing 750 milliliters next week-ish. Just for you, Dave. But we're really excited about it because it's the best stuff we've ever made. It's so beautiful. It's delicious. Wow. It's decadent. It's like you could taste all the flavors of the rye, and it just makes great cocktails. It does it all. It's paramount to our portfolio. But we also have a salted caramel whiskey that we cannot keep on the shelves right here in the distillery. It just sells out every single time we make it. So we're actually in the process of scaling that up because people love it. And so one of the things with Henebery, and I want to be perfectly clear, I love whiskey. I'm a fucking connoisseur. I'm actually kind of religiously into it. But I also know that people love flavor. So we wanted to be the best of both worlds, man. I'm going to be honest with you, Tom. We wanted to bring great flavors to the world, but we also wanted to really respect whiskey in its entirety.
Of course. And you guys make such amazing stuff. And I love the energy and passion you all have. And the thought that you put behind it, interesting whiskeys. The salted caramel whiskey, how are you putting the salt and the caramel in that? What are you doing?
So what honestly, like, we're creating a saline for the salt, and and then we're creating beautiful caramel, man. We're making the caramel. We're doing it all in house. We're making it as special. What we wanted to do is, you tasted a salted caramel whiskey in its own right, and it's super sweet, and it just comes across as like something that like can't be digested necessarily. We wanted to do the opposite. We wanted it to be more savory and salty and make you beg for more and have a little hint of sweetness in there because caramel's sweet, but still be whiskey driven. Everything that we're making is whiskey driven. And I think the world loves that. I really do. I think they don't know that yet, but I think everybody really wants to taste whiskey in elements where the whiskey is respected, not diluted. Because I feel like a lot of brands out there, I'll just be honest with you, Tom, I feel like a lot of people are just trying to add sweetness to things that already exist.
Right.
We're trying to add whiskey into worlds that can make flavors happen. So we want to go with whiskey, not against it. We want the whiskey more equivalent. Oh shit! I think did I get kicked off? Am I good?
You're here. You're here. Say that once again, though. You were saying something really good. Say that.
Well,
I don't know, missed 20 seconds of it.
We want to make whiskey the prevalent part of the experience, not sweetness being the prevalent part. So if you order a normal salted caramel whiskey, you're going to get a lot of sweetness. We want whiskey to be the dominating force. We want the sweetness in the caramel to be second and the salt to make you beg for more. And we've accomplished that in our last.
Amazing.
We dialed that in, and we're so excited about this project.
Amazing stuff. No, I can't wait to try that one. And again, next week is weekish is when your bourbon comes out, right?
A rye, straight rye.
Straight rye. The straight rye's next week, and the bourbon's in the future, right?
The bourbon, I'm not gonna put a deadline on it because it's in barrels.
That'd be a real ish deadline.
It's the itchiest deadline ever because we're not gonna release it until it's ready. That's the truth.
Yeah,
we can't fuck up that bourbon, man.
I totally understand, and I can't wait to try that. And we'll definitely have you guys back on here as the rye is released. Definitely be watching BourbonBlog.com. For that update, and wherever you've been watching, if for some reason that you all watch this, I know there's people from California watching, from across the country. The British Bourbon Society had something up on this too. So many great people watching us from all over, and thank you all for everyone who's watching. If you somehow caught this in the middle, it's up permanently wherever you're watching it, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. So go back, watch it. Watch us every night at bourbonblog.com/live. We do this every night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And again, if you're in California, which I know a lot of you are, log on to heneberywhiskey.com. You can order the products there. What's the timeline? I mean, I've been following it a little bit for Kentucky. As far as when distilleries will reopen for tours in California, when do you think that'll happen? I mean, what's that looking like for your state?
They're reopening some restaurants here, like with minimum capacity. So we're crossing our fingers and just keeping a good close eye on all the stipulations that are coming our way.
Sure.
We also run a tasting room, so we fall under a little different guideline as well.
Okay.
Probably Kentucky. So our tasting room will probably reopen with minimum capacity shortly.
Sure.
We don't know exactly how long.
Okay.
What we want to do is we want to make sure that even when they allow us to do it, we're doing it the best way possible.
Sure.
So we had a full-blown meeting right before this talking about how the different processes and procedures are going to come into place, what we're going to do to make sure that we're different than anybody else, how we're going to address all these issues and be the best in this market. So we just had that meeting right before we met with you about an hour ago.
Wow. So probably in some capacity, the next few weeks to the next month or so, we'll see tasting room open and then maybe tours in the next couple months. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Tom. We're probably not going to reopen the tasting room fully, but what we will do is we'll do reservation-based tastings.
Excellent. Okay.
And just to make sure everybody feels safe. And I think that makes more sense to anybody. But yeah, we're gonna really call out to our members and the people that have followed us for a long time and say, hey, if you want a social experience, we're gonna offer it to you, but it's reservation only. It's
Reservation
not
only.
right.
I think that's a great idea. Do you think that'll be a trend that we'll see other distilleries doing across the country? It's very possible.
I think so. I think once they see what we do, they're gonna copy us.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think it's a great idea to have people that how many people are coming. It helps you plan forward. And I think it's so important. And again, if you're in California, you head towards San Diego, kind of be watching what these guys are doing, and definitely stop by and see our friends here at Henebery Spirits and try all the new releases. Order them, try them. Guys, it's so good to see you for a virtual drink. It really means a lot to join you for this. Appreciate all the different industry and all the passion and innovation you bring to us. It means a lot.
And then if any of your viewers from outside of California want to order our product, look at uptownspirits.com or kaganbottle.com, Bevmo. And they can reach out, and we can put them in the
cool.
We can put them in touch with a couple retailers so they can contact them.
Cool. Yeah. Definitely find those places, or just log on there to Henebery Spirits or HeneberyWhiskey.com. Email them if you need to, or email us. Definitely want to make sure everybody gets to try this. And congratulations on your growth since we've last spoken and seen each other for a drink. And it'll be fun to continue to follow your progress. That's been one of our favorite parts at BourbonBlog for the last 15 years, is to see great distilleries like yours that have such passion and innovation, and to follow the progress. So definitely keep it up. I'm going to be getting out hopefully to San Diego. I don't know exactly when, but when I do, it'll be a good time. We'll all go out. We'll have some fun. We'll do a tasting. James and Kevin are there. So many good people that I do some work with. Yeah. So it'll be fun to see you guys too, and to try some new stuff with you in person.
Hey, Tom, do you mind if I give you a plug right now?
Oh, please do. Please.
I'll tell everybody a really quick story about Tom. He came into San Diego. He had no idea who I was or Dave was. We invited him to a couple of events. Next thing you know, we found out his true heart was supporting people that were doing things special. And ever since then, we connected, man. Honestly, Tom has gone out of the box. Obviously, he runs BourbonBlog.com, but he's also looked into things that are very unorthodox, and he's done a really great job of bringing us all into his ecosystem. And he's done a really cool job of seeing what's next and what's new and what's fresh. And I respect you wholeheartedly for that, Tom. Sorry about the extra plug there, but
thank you, brother. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
I'm not the 124 proof speaking, but I like what you're doing, Tom. You're doing a really great job. So
thank you. That means a lot, Jesse. Thank you. You guys are awesome. It's so fun having you tonight. I remember that first night that I got to meet you guys, and you brought me some to taste, and I was like, these guys are so cool, and I love what they have. So that was a good time, and always a good time. We've had a lot of good times together.
All right.
Cheers, Tom. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys. And you guys stay well, and thanks for all you're doing for spirits and for the bartenders. And thanks to all who are watching. Join us tomorrow night. Again, same place, 8 Eastern time. Our guest tomorrow night is 9 Banded Whiskey from Austin, Texas, and then a lot of other great guests this week. We're even going to have, I don't know if I can say who it is yet, but we're going to have a former pro wrestler joining us later this week as one of our guests to do something with us, which will be fun. So we have all kinds of great people lined up around the industry, having a lot of fun here on BourbonBlog.com. So cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good to see you.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks.